You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 302. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom, and tonight I have two very special guests. They are the husband and wife team of one of my very favorite podcasts, The Worst Collection Ever. Please welcome to the show, Jen Stansfield and Shawn Merrick.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome, folks. So tonight we are going to talk... Yes. I'm very pleased to have you. Tonight we are going to talk about The Metal Men, number 17, cover dated December and January of 1966, but according to Mike's Amazing World of Comics, it hit the stands October 21st, 1965.
Who cares what Mike thinks?
What's that?
Who cares what Mike thinks?
Well, he's looked up the data to figure out all that stuff, so...
I know he's done a lot of hard work and stuff.
Yeah. Come on, he's a super nerd, but I don't know Mike.
Is he even a real person?
I think so.
Well, I appreciate all his hard work.
He probably doesn't have a girlfriend, so... What's that, Jen?
I'm usually just like, it came out at a day.
Yeah, it sure did.
So I appreciate people who actually do research.
Yeah. Cool cover art by Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito. We want to talk a little bit about this cover?
Oh, absolutely.
So on the very top it says, read, because, I was just going to look at this book, but it says, read. I married a robot. The mad tale even electronic braids are reading. which implies that there are sentient, Skynet robots reading this and enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's the book of choice of...
it was written for the future.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Before they crush mankind, they want to get some chuckles from the Metal Men.
They just want to read some comics and then take over the world.
Yeah.
I love this cover, too, because we've got the Doctor here.
Yeah, Doc Magnus.
Doc Magnus, and he is putting a ring onto a green metal lady. And in the background, the Metal Men are all trapped in a giant spider web. And he is going to marry this metal lady. And she is an evil robot. But I would like to say that I believe that Doc Magnus could be played by John Hamm.
Yeah.
On this cover, he looks so much like John.
Yeah, and he's, Doc Magnus, we'll get about it in the story, but he's probably as much of a dick as Don Draper.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my gosh, he's such a dick, he makes Reed Richards seem like a caring, attentive guy.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for a scene for Doc Magnus to just dump all of his garbage on the ground in the park after having a picnic.
Oh my gosh, that stuck out in my mind so much from that series. I love that show.
That was so crazy. The minute it happened, we're sitting there wait, what just happened? And
but,
he just got up and walked away.
But it's so true. It's like people would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, irresponsible.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, I was going to point out, I just noticed a few things here about this green lady. First of all, I think she's an Irish Jocasta, if you feel me.
I do feel you. I love Jocasta, by the way.
Yeah. Now you have her Irish sister, O Jocasta. O Jocasta.
Oh, man.
And, is it... Now, am I saying this correctly? Does she have... justice scales for earrings?
It looks like she does.
Oh my gosh, I think you're right. I didn't even notice that. Or they could be...
At first, I thought it was some sort of elemental symbol, kind of like the rest of the Metal Men, but I just think they just drew it that way.
on closer examination, they could be pendulums, from the Pit and the Pendulum with blades on the bottom.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Why are there multiple pits? Why are there multiple blades on one blade? Does that? I think all the blades just get in the way of each other. They're trying to cut you.
They want to cut you and kill you extra good. They want to make sure you're dead.
Yeah. Make sure you're dead. Guaranteed death.
Yes.
I want to ask Nick a question, actually.
Oh, yes.
Do you actually have a physical copy of this book?
I have it actually in the Showcase Presents the Metal Men Volume 2. So my copy is in black and white.
Okay, we actually have the original copy.
Very good. As I figured you did.
Because my father, this is actually my late father's ish comic book.
Oh.
He passed away a couple years ago, but after he passed away, I was able to procure his comic book collection, which
Awesome.
features many issues of Metal Men. So this is the original copy of which my late father, Larry Merrick, purchased when he was 13 years old. And then
Oh.
read this and then said, "This is good comic books. I'm going to continue to buy more Metal Men."
Is this the earliest issue you have, Shawn?
No.
Oh,
We
okay.
have, actually, I got this from my dad as well. I have the initial, or the original the debut of Metamorpho and Raven the Bolt.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
also, wait, I don't know what year it's from. Maybe Mike can help us. The debut of not Silver Surfer, Black Bolt, and the Inhumans. I have that issue from my father as well.
Oh, wow.
Actually, wow, I don't think like has the first appearance of Molten Man too, and I have that.
Oh, wow. No, that's you got some great.
They're on their box. Oh,
Those are some great comics you got from your dad.
Yeah, my dad was. I get my weirdness from my dad because clearly my dad had a flair for the off the beaten path Metal Men comics, and not he did have his share of Superman and Batman comics, but he's going out of his way and he's buying Metamorpho and he's buying Aquaman stuff that you would just assume that all the kids were buying Superman and Batman,
Yeah.
war comics, like Blackhawks and stuff, but
Yeah.
no. Yeah, my dad was a welder, so it actually makes sense that he was into the metal.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
blame your dad for
Yeah.
your love of weird, obscure character.
Yeah. Well, I think this episode will be a great tribute to the wackadoo tastes of Larry Merrick and to myself, because I love this crap.
He would be sharing this. He's going to share this at the local Holy Name Society.
Okay.
My son. That's a Western New York thing.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what the Holy Name Society is.
The Holy City.
It's old men getting drunk.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of Catholic dudes getting drunk. A bunch of Polish Catholic dudes getting drunk in a basement, and then they meet and they do occasional pancake breakfasts, and it's kind of like an Elks Lodge kind of thing, but with more pancakes.
Okay. Okay. That's fun.
Nick is
Drunk?
like, why did I invite you on this show? Both of you, get off.
No. But now I'm thinking have pancakes and get drunk? That's a great plan. I know what I'm doing this weekend.
It is a regular tradition for the Holy Name Societies to have what's called stinkin' drink nights, where they eat Limburger cheese sandwiches.
Okay. I've never had Limburger cheese.
Now you know I buy it. I do think I would.
But there's so many jokes about how bad it stinks, but yeah, I've never had it. I've never smelled it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of stinking comics,
Yeah, let's talk about this story, please.
Lovely segue.
Okay, so the story is called I Married a Robot. And this was written by Robert Kanigher, penciled by Ross Andru, and inked by Mike Esposito. Now, Kanigher and Ross Andru created the Metal Men. And a couple of things. Ross Andru and Esposito, along with Kanigher, they were also the creative team on Wonder Woman at this time.
Okay.
And Andrew and Esposito were an art team. They did a lot of stuff together. They also went over to Marvel in the 70s and had a run on Spider-Man.
okay.
Yeah. And of course, Robert Kanigher is best known for writing lots and lots of DC war stories, especially Sergeant Rock,
Okay.
who's very near and dear to my heart.
So I would assume that Joe Kubert did all the illustrations on those stories. Probably majority of that. Or?
I would say the majority, yeah, or many of them. I mean, Kanigher wrote Sergeant Rock for like 20 years. Kubert didn't draw all the Sergeant Rock stories, so.
Okay. I always associate Joe Kubert with Sergeant Rock.
As you should. The association is correct, Shawn. But yeah, let's dig into this story, please.
Okay, well, so I guess we give the synopsis overall of the story here, or we just talk about it?
We'll just talk about it. We'll do the synopsis. We'll joke as you want to go along. You know, just like when you do your show.
Well, usually we just kind of go through page by page and say, "Hey, look at this dumb thing."
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it.
Let's jump right into it. So, I married a robot.
Yeah.
With the middleman. You have the main page here, kind of aping the cover and giving us a little bit more insight into what's actually happening here. So you have the middleman on the side. You have Doc. You have Tina or Platinum. You have Mercury, gold, lead, iron, tin, and Nameless.
Yeah.
This was the first time that I realized that there was a character called Nameless, because every time I've read a Middleman comic, this character has never been here.
Well, that's because she died a horrible death at some point.
She did.
Did she get melted?
I haven't read the story where she died, but she did die. And they didn't
melt?
I guess. I don't know.
She's metal.
This is a gap in my knowledge, Jen.
Yeah, because she's like Tin's girlfriend or something.
Yeah, and he built her.
Oh, that's creepy.
It is creepy.
He built her because he was bored.
He was lonely.
Yeah.
It's all right. He's just building a lady. Sometimes you gotta do that.
I
so
guess.
Basically, on this splash page here, we see what basically is the cover of the docket married to the Jocasta, and then you have this picture of the middleman looking at a giant spider, Tina and Gold looking at a spider, and being like, "Oh shit, we're gonna die."
Yeah.
So,
because apparently the lovely green lady is actually a mechanical Black Widow spider.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Robot Black Widow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, listeners, get ready to fill up the swear jar on this episode, just to be forewarned.
Yeah, sorry,
No. Go. You be you, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So we go back to kind of see how all of this started, because Doc has been basically like hypnotized by this robot spider green Jocasta lady.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the rest of the story is told in flashback.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
we go back, and what happened is, of course, Platinum or Tina is completely in love with Doc.
Who is super annoyed by her love for him.
even though he created her to do that, that's his fault.
Yeah,
So
he's so weird.
So they're like walking down the street. All the middlemen are like walking down the street, and he's outside having a date with some lady. And Tina sees this and like freaks out and like runs over, and she's like, "Why don't you love me? Oh my god, it's like the worst." And
we need to unpack a few other things here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because the middlemen are just kind of walking down the street having like a Sunday fun day kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're window shopping.
Like they they got like a work release from Doc Magnus, and they're like, "Hey, it's like that movie. You ever see that movie, The Dream Team?"
Yeah, I love that movie.
So basically this is it with like metal people,
right?
And so they're to kind of putz it down the street. They go to like a bistro, and they're like, "Hey, Doc's having a date," and Tina's like losing it because she's like, "How dare you date a real woman?" And I do like that she totally she insults her. She calls her a human hat rack.
Wow, yeah.
It's full of insults in this book. This is just the first of many. She's calling this woman like a skinny human hat rack. They look exactly the same. They have exactly the same body type.
Did you
Right.
catch Clothes Horse?
Yeah.
Where?
She calls her, am I, okay, crazy mixed up platinum doll, am I? Is that all you think of me, insulting me in front of that human clothes horse?
Yeah, because so as Platinum like flies off the handle, and Doc's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, human lady. This is all my fault. I shouldn't have. I installed a faulty respondometer."
A responsometer. Responsometer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it turned her into this crazy woman because, God forbid, ladies have emotions. And so she like flies off the handle, grabs a tray, and just jumps it on the Doc's head.
Yeah. Just a little insight. Robert Kanigher writer of this series, really kind of a sexist pig. Definitely a man of his time.
Yes.
He also wrote Lady Cop, the greatest comic book of all.
Which one?
Lady Cop? It's
Lady Cop. We have Lady Cop.
Oh, you got to cover Lady Cop. In fact, you may have to have me on for Lady Cop.
We on our show. We talked. We looked at it, and then that woman got ED, and we didn't know.
That's right. Oh my God, that's right. We have one where this like poor girl gets VD,
Yep.
and then like her father just like disowns her, and she's like crying on the end of a dock or something.
Yep. It's an awesome comic book. I covered it on this show twice.
Oh my God, that's amazing. We might have to talk Lady Cop.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is. I like that Tina just gives Doc third-degree burns with some soup.
Oh
yeah.
And then she's
maybe it's gazpacho. It's like chill.
What's gazpacho?
Maybe.
Just refreshing on a cold day. Platinum runs off, and she everybody grabs a hold of her little tail.
Yeah, because they all have these shape-shifting powers, and she kind of becomes thin in the leg area, I guess.
Yeah, it's like she's kind of like a genie.
Yeah, and they all do that, though.
I didn't know she could do that.
Yeah, see here she's doing it.
I could see that, but it's like I didn't realize that was a thing, that she has a prehensile tail that is so strong that she can fly through the air and carry all the other elements, including iron and lead, which are literally iron and lead.
Well, platinum is the heaviest of all of those, I think.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
So they all grab on, and she flies off, and then the lady who Doc was seeing is just like, no, if you're obsessed with that platinum, insane, crazy lady, I'm out. And the whole time,
Betty Draper ain't having it.
No, she's not, because literally the entire time that she's breaking up with him, he was just like, I should really have a talk with Platinum. Like, I programmed her with logic. She'll understand she can't have human emotions. Like, and he's like not paying any attention to the fact that he's getting dumped in public.
Oh my gosh. Do the two of you watch the show The Venture Brothers?
No.
No, I've seen it a couple times.
Okay. Well, there's a character on there that's basically an analog to Reed Richards, but he has a lot of Dr. Will Magnus going on as a character. Maybe more than Reed. But anyway.
That sounds awesome.
It is awesome.
So, Tina, or Platinum, being a lady, decides that she needs to, go get her fortune read.
Yeah, because that's what broads do.
That is what broads do. Why not?
According to Robert Kanigher, anyway.
So they're walking, and they see the gypsy, and she's like, no, I can't go see it because it's gold. So there's a human lady, and then she happens to see another woman.
Like the big, it's the machine from Big.
Yeah. It's a Zoltar machine. Yeah.
It is absolutely. And so I thought that she did that because it was another machine.
There's Tom Hanks right there. He's concerned.
It's like, don't do it. Your weirdest wish will come true.
And you don't grow hair overnight on your balls.
Hey, but you'll get to meet Robert Loggia.
Oh, hey, that's true.
That's a good sacrifice.
Right?
I think I would sacrifice my entire childhood to meet Robert Loggia in an instant.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I get to hang out with Robert Loggia now. Yay!
I would just hang out with him and just hopefully do some I don't know, whatever Robert. I keep thinking,
what was that commercial where he had juice or something?
Yeah, he did an orange juice commercial.
Yeah.
Do you remember this, Nick?
I do. I remember that commercial well. It was awesome.
See, now people, so I'm glad we're on the same page here. So, yeah, Robert Loggia had that commercial, and I would just hang out and drink tangerine orange juice with him.
Yeah.
And, maybe he could guest star on The Sopranos. Because you'd have to adopt me, you see.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
So, here, the question...
You'd have to adopt me as a grown man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's my question.
That would be weird.
Here's my question.
That was the part big that you didn't see, was that he went to go work for Robert Loggia. Robert Loggia's like, well, I guess I got to adopt you now. Because you talk to my machine and you put the money in his mouth, and we play piano together. So now you're my son. So
is that how that works?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how people get kids.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So confusing.
So she like puts the coin in the big machine, and it just tells her, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any cards. Come back later."
Yeah.
Where did she get the coin from? Did she make it from her own body?
That's a good question. Maybe she has like a pocket, like she could put it inside her body and like take it out when she needs it. Maybe she had real money.
You could just kind of do like a finger thing, like just kind of create like a coin and stick it in there so it operates and then take it back out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think Doc has programmed them all to be pretty honest. They don't do shifty things like that.
Do you think Doc gave them some like walking around money when he dropped them off? And he was like, when you guys are going to walk around the city, here's what, like $2 back then probably was a good amount of money.
I mean, I don't know. These are good questions, Jen. Because, I mean, clearly he's rich enough to build these 6 talking robots. I guess he's got...
out of pure gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Platinum, which is more valuable than gold.
The least he could do is give them a per diem.
Yeah. A robo per diem.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Metalmen, they have a rider, and they have a certain amount of like.
Only blue M&Ms.
Oh man.
They get to have their pick of nuts and bolts.
Yeah, Haviland, Haviland, in the cooler.
Only Phillips head screws. If I see anything else.
Right.
So then, like, Tina and who is it? Mercury? They start fighting.
Start yelling at each other. They're having a bicker.
Okay, Mercury.
It's going to be terrifying for everybody.
Yeah.
A bunch of wonky robots yelling at each other on the street.
And here's the thing. It's like, okay, all the rest of the metal men are all like great guys, nice guys, and Mercury's like a total prick.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's kind of saying what everybody else is thinking at the same time, where he was like, what is wrong with you? Why are you obsessed with this guy? You're a robot.
Yeah, he's very self-aware. I appreciate that about Mercury.
Mercury is the mother from The Room. He's like, who are these characters? What are they doing?
Does he know he's a comic book character?
I mean, I'm surprised Bob Haney didn't write this story, okay? Because this is nuts. He did write some Metal Men stories. But yeah.
So as they're fighting, there's like all of a sudden a giant spider web appears over whatever city they're in. I don't know what city they're in.
Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan. It appears over the city, and there's a whole bunch of fighter jets that happen to just be flying overhead, and they get snared, because that's what happens, and they get snared in the spider web, and they just disappear.
Oh, that sucks.
Sucks for them.
That's for America. All the military is disappearing.
Yeah.
At first, sorry, we were flipping the page. So the Metal Men are like, we're going to have to try to save them, but too late, they disappeared. Yeah, and then, oh god, so what happens here now? Oh, so they... Like, Platinum's taking them up to get the jets, and they disappear, and so she's going to bring them back down, but for somehow she sees the Doc driving down the street. Oh, that's why she lets him go.
Yeah.
She's just like literally, they're like, what, like at least 20 stories off the ground, and she's got Mercury and Lead.
Yeah.
Is that Lead?
Yes, Lead and Mercury, and she just lets them fall.
Them, and then she's like, oh my god, it's the Doc, and she just...
Or it's Iron, I'm sorry, it's Iron.
Oh, sorry, Iron. And she's just like, drops them, and she's like, I gotta go talk to the Doc, and they're just gonna like fall 20 stories.
So, but...
Well, thankfully...
Thankfully,
that Nameless can turn into a cup. I think that's the only thing she does. She turns into a cup, and then...
Is this like the Wonder Twins, where the one only becomes water?
Yes, exactly, yes.
The other one can do all cool shit. That one only does water. So, like, they get saved.
Well, I want to get out here that Tin has a breakthrough, because he realizes when he gets angry, he doesn't stutter.
Oh yeah, Tin stammers a lot. He's very timid.
Yeah.
Yes. Because one of them calls, like, Nameless useless. Or he's like, oh, you're not as useless as I thought you were because you saved us or whatever. And then he gets all pissy.
Yeah.
So, that's good.
Yeah.
And then what do they do here?
Then they get into Doc's flying rocket car and investigate the giant spider web.
How do they fit so many people in there?
Well, I think they could reduce their, the amount of space they take up. They have all these shape-changing powers.
Also, this was the 60s. All cars were boats back in the 60s.
That's right.
Very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
Giant boats. So they're going to go investigate the spider web as it takes like a train and a building and all sorts of stuff. And then they go back to the headquarters.
Well, we just to hear also that they try to investigate the spider web because it steals the Empire State Building.
Yeah, steals the building, it steals a train, stole all the stuff, but they don't actually catch up with it. And then they just go back to headquarters.
Yeah.
So
where we get a break.
Yeah. The Metalmen take a break while Doc is working on a solution to this problem in the lab, and Tina's cooking up a scheme as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy!
She decides to be a housewife.
No, well, she decides to become like a housewife.
She's not.
But she's also like into the occult.
Yeah.
She like uses like a witch's recipe.
This week on Occult Housewives.
So she's like, I'm going to make this great thing for him because, women feed men food, and that is the way to their hearts through their stomachs.
This isn't food. She gives them like a fucking dry ice and a cherry dry ice or something. I don't know.
And like with a gypsy curse or something.
He's what?
She also says that she's talking about like a gypsy curse that she puts on this drink, and it's supposed to
Where
make.
did she get this book?
Where'd she get the ingredients from? Because obviously these are occult ingredients. We're talking eye of newt and nail of horse and
Maybe
nail of horse.
Maybe she got in touch with Dr. Fate off panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
No, this is good. Yeah, so DLC is Dr. Fate being like coming in with a grocery bag from Whole Foods with all the.
There's just like a dark aisle in Whole Foods where you can just go and like buy, your things.
Dr. Fate lives in Salem, so they probably have a market that just sells like those parts that you need from occult recipes.
It's right next to all the vegan stuff.
Yeah, not vegan.
Yeah. Did we just miss that aisle when we went to Salem? Because we've been there.
Yeah. No, we missed the Dr. Fate's occult vegan grocery.
Do they make smoothies there too? Are you like, give me some of that eye of newt? Could you also give me a kale smoothie?
Could you put some witch's tit milk in there for me?
No.
Well, because it pulls the witch's tit,
Yeah, I get it.
That was a good joke.
Good joke, babe. So she makes him whatever the hell she's making him, and this is my favorite panel in the entire book. So she gives it to him, and she's like, "Oh, hey, I made this for you. Drink it all up. It'll make you a new man." And he drinks it. He says, "Like it's putting hair on my chest, only on the inside."
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
That's the weirdest. It's the weirdest freaking thing I've ever seen.
He should know better. Dr. Magnus should know better than to drink something his robot made and that's bubbling. He should know better.
For real?
He should have died. But he didn't.
Yeah, he's drinking Drano. Didn't he read Breakfast of Champions? What's going on?
This is actually an Unsolved Mysteries episode that hasn't aired yet.
If you or anyone you know has any information about Doc Magnus drinking Drano.
Well, actually, what happens, that was John Hamm's first role playing Doc Magnus in the on-air episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, back in 91.
Yeah.
That's how you got those roles back then,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Matthew McConaughey was on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
John Hamm was on, what was that show? The Dating Game? That's not it. It's the one with Chuck Woolery.
Oh. No, it was,
he was on one of those.
It was on one of those.
Really, really floppy 90s hair.
Oh, you saw it too, Jen. Ugh.
Yes.
And
he
he was
an anime character come to life.
Oh my gosh, and he was such a douchebag on that show too.
Yes. He was. It was awful. It was great. It was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
He was on that, and he was on Gilmore Girls. He did an episode of the Gilmore Girls as, like, hot guy.
Oh, my
And he
gosh.
never showed up again, and then he was on something else.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't remember. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
So let's see. I see. This was a love potion that she was making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think it worked. So as they're sitting there and she's waiting for this love potion to take effect,
There's like 3 pages of panels of her just staring at him and being like, love me, love me.
just definitely of its time.
Oh,
it goes
boy.
into those like romance comics that I just love because they're like such a snapshot of this weird time when like the only thing middle class or upper class ladies could ever be are housewives.
Yeah.
And that's the only acceptable way for them to ever like have sex is if they're married.
Right.
So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I do love me some romance comics. They are awesome.
They're so good. I want them all. I just want to like collect all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Like some sort of scholar.
I just got a big pile of them, Jen. Maybe I'll have to send them down to you when I finish reading some of these.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We've got a big pile ourselves. We came in, I think not too long ago, we came to a bunch of them.
Yeah, they're not DC or Marvel ones though. They're Charlton.
Oh yeah, Charlton has some good ones. Like if you find any 1960s issues, mid-60s issues of career girl romances.
Oh, that's awesome.
They are awesome because here's the formula for those stories. Career woman, modern woman on the go, meets a great guy, but he's got a job and it's not as good as hers. So she gives up her career for her man.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the formula. Like every story is those. And they're all written by Joe Gill, and he's the Robert Kanigher of Charlton. And this guy, he sat at his typewriter in the Charlton offices with like a quart of whiskey in his desk drawer. I kid you not. And he just cranked out like 90% of the stories for Charlton, like drunk.
That explains a lot, actually.
Oh, man.
I don't think I have any of those like career girl ones. I've got some crazy ones. I don't remember which titles I have.
Yeah, we got some.
Oh, they had a bunch. They had like a dozen romance titles.
Yeah, they have a ton of them, and like one of them has like a woman who's just like, I don't have to listen to my man, and he like literally takes her over his knee and like is spanking her like I'm the head of the household. And I was like, what the hell is happening?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I love that crap for all the right and wrong reasons, okay?
Yes. Same.
Yeah.
It's same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what happens here next is they drive in his.
Well, they see that the spider web has come back and it's just taken a ship.
Yeah.
So Doc has a flying saucer, the Jetaway.
Of course it is. Yeah. It's like, leave the boat car. Get in the flying saucer. We're going to go get this spider web.
He must be the richest scientist in the world. He has a spaceship.
Right? Even Batman doesn't have a spaceship.
And he should.
No, Batman. No. Batman has everything else but a spaceship.
Right?
Yeah.
Batman doesn't have a flying saucer.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Just throwing that out there.
So they go, okay, let's go crash into this spider web so we can, like, go to the upside down or whatever the fuck it is.
Very good.
And they go to this, whatever this dimension is, which, and they see...
I think the upside down is applicable.
Yeah, very good. Hey, before we carry on with the story, I want to take a quick promotional break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Jen.
And I'm Shawn. We're here to tell you about our podcast, Worst Collection Ever.
And this is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence. And it just happens to belong to us.
We have some of the worst comics from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They're bad.
Terrible.
They're not worth anything.
No good.
Why do we own them?
Bad.
I own a number of issues of Terror Inc. and Guy Gardner.
Basically, we go around to local comic book stores and we buy everything we can out of dollar boxes.
We tell you about the weird stuff in them. We tell you about stuff that's related to them. We go into tangents. And we're very uninformed, so...
Oh my god, totally. But totally check out our podcast because you'll hear us just talk and joke about Marvel books and DC books from God only knows when.
That's right. It's our show, Worst Collection Ever, every Tuesday on iTunes, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcasts. Download, rate, subscribe, tell a friend.
It'll be good and terrible, but good.
I'm Mike Gillis.
And I'm Casey Dorn, and we want to ask you an important question.
Are you sick and tired of other panel discussion shows wasting your time droning on and on about foreign policy, economics, and human rights?
Or do you want to hear conversations about things that actually matter?
We host a podcast called Radio versus the Martians. Every month we gather a panel of our nation's finest minds and plunge a rusty prison shank into the heart of tough questions that have an impact on the lives of real people like you.
Like, are drivers required to pull over for the Ghostbusters?
Is the United Federation of Planets actually an oppressive dictatorship run by guidance counselors?
Is Arnold Schwarzenegger secretly a genius?
And are we being mean when we laugh at movies that are so bad they're good?
So write your congressman and let them know that Radio vs. the Martians is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and on radioversusthemartians.com.
And we're back.
So they go into the Upside Down.
Yeah.
And they
meet the
like,
Demogorgon.
Oh, we gotta go.
No.
Was that?
They meet the Demogorgon. It's scary.
Yeah. And then okay.
Looking for Barb.
I
Right.
gotta point out here real quick. So there's a scene where they're looking around. They're like, "Oh, nobody's around here. Where's everybody?" And Tin goes, "Ditto," right? And then Nameless is like, "Oh, Tin, you can speak foreign languages. You're so smart."
Yeah.
What is he speaking Latin? Is that
That joke falls really flat.
It really does. I really just think that all the women in this comic book are written with an IQ of about 12.
Yeah.
It's just another example.
Yeah.
She doesn't get what that means. So yeah, because they land and they find the ship and the train and the Empire State Building and all that sort of stuff. And they're like, well, luckily the atmosphere is just like Earth, but nobody's here.
Right.
How come not everybody's in the Empire State Building and it's just like running out of there, being like, "Oh my god!" Like it's because only people that are here, as we come to see, are just like people with guns, like soldiers, you know.
Well, I thought it was the soldiers were running in front of all of these people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's regular people in this crowd.
Yeah, and they're running all of a sudden. For some reason, everybody has gotten out of all of their stuff. Nobody has stayed in anything, and they've all walked as like a group somewhere, and now they're running back.
Yeah.
Being chased by giant mechanical spiders that go clank, clank, clank. They're all written with clank above them.
Yep.
They're very slow, clanky spiders.
So,
At least they didn't land on the planet of the slinky dogs, you know?
Pretty
So,
much.
Yeah.
Lead forms a wall, and then there's like a big battle.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is a fun battle.
It's a pretty hardy battle there, because all of a sudden all the metalmen just turn into like a bunch of like, you know, pieces of themselves, and they start shooting themselves at the
Or
spiders.
into hammers and stuff. They really kick the crap out of these spiders.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's actually that's the most I've ever seen them get like hardcore like that. I like it.
Oh, they get very hardcore in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, later on, they kill.
I don't understand how they're able to like shoot their bodies out, still like, you know, keep all their pieces intact.
Well, it's kind of...
That's some sort of polarity thing, I assume, right?
Well, yeah, and okay, obviously this is long before it, but you remember Terminator 2? If the T-1000 got a piece of himself knocked off, he could suck it back into himself.
That's true.
They probably have,
Yeah.
like motors or relays or things that can make them reincorporate.
Yeah, that's true, because they are kind of all like the T-1000.
Yeah, they're all like liquidy metal.
Yeah.
They're all like Robert Patrick, and they all won the star in the 6th season of The X-Files.
Right.
You mean the season nobody watched?
Yeah, I never watched it.
Including Ted. And that was really weird. Ted was on The X-Files. That's right.
That would make sense, actually. He was in the episode with Kathy Griffin that nobody likes.
Oh.
It's a bad episode.
Okay.
So Magnus is like, "Oh, I'm going to call my cool ship over here," and then the spider attacks him.
I love he's got like a Dick Tracy wrist radio to call the Jetaway back over.
Yeah. He's got an iWatch.
Yeah, It's pretty dope.
Well, I have a question here. So they get clanked by these spiders, and so it looks like some of them are getting suctioned down. But like, are they just stabbing Dr. Magnus or something? Like, I don't understand.
So I'm not exactly sure how this happens because we see him with his cool Apple Watch,
Yeah.
right? And then the next panel we see like the military guys looking at a spider standing over him.
Yeah.
And then all the metal men who just kicked all the spider ass are now all pinned down by these spiders. I don't know where they came from.
Yeah,
I don't know how it happened.
I think they got overwhelmed by the superior numbers of the spiders. Like, they were kicking ass at first.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah.
So as Doc Magnus is laying down, he's getting hypnotized. So this is what we saw in the beginning.
Yes.
So one spider makes a big web and throws all the metal men inside of it, but the other one is like hypnotizing.
What's the Black Widow spider?
The Black Widow spider,
All right.
which apparently there's only one of, but they all look the same.
Yeah, and she makes them all fall asleep, I think.
Oh no, she tries to hypnotize. Did she actually hypnotize the metal men?
No, that's right. She tries to hypnotize them, and like Iron's like, or Led's like, hey, you must have like not understand how robots work because we're robots and we hypnotize. And she's like,
she is also a robot. She should know that.
yeah, and she's like, okay, fine, fuck you. I'll go walk away and marry your doctor man.
This is what I don't get. Why is she marrying him?
Yeah, there's no
Why?
real reason to.
Yeah,
Because she's
I
not a
don't
real
get it.
spider. She's a robot. She doesn't need
she's
to eat.
a robot spider.
She doesn't
Also,
need to
too,
drink
why
his
is she
blood
just
or
marrying-
whatever. Like, why?
Yeah.
And why is she just marrying Dr. Magnus? Because there was a whole bunch of people in those ships and in the Empire State Building that she captured. I'm certain she could have found a suitable mate out of one of those people, but she focuses just on Dr. Magnus.
Yeah, and also, like a regular Black Widow spider would like eat another spider or bugs. Why isn't she wanting to marry one of the metal men, and why Doc?
Right. That's what doesn't make sense, because she is a robot. Like, you would think that she would, if she's going to eat anything, eat another robot?
You know,
Right.
if I'm going to marry a metalman, I'm marrying Gold. Gold's probably the best one.
Well, Gold
What, worth more?
Gold is actually kind of the leader, and he's a great
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Leonardo of the group.
He really is. He really is.
He absolutely is.
Or Leonardo is the gold of the turtles.
Exactly.
So,
Eastman and Laird, they owe royalties to Kanigher's estate. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so I was thinking about the other whiskey guy. Whiskey buddy that you're talking about. So I might have to send him over. Kevin Eastman might have to send over some whiskey as a tribute.
Very good.
Okay, so I want to point out this, and I refer to them a bunch of times in this book like this, and I love it because it makes my mind think in other directions. It says on this other page, it says, to their dismay, the trapped metal band realized, and then we see how they're all trapped in this web. And I just think metal band. I just think like Deicide or like Fear Factory, like trapped in a web.
So you think it's just like some Norwegian metal band, like stuck in a spider web?
Oh, it's Morbid Angel trapped in the Maze of Torment.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to imagine there's an angry Kerry King from Slayer just man, I drink with Jaeger. Now I'm in this metal web.
You think,
Oh, man.
You know how they all go out to the forest to take their pictures?
Yeah.
Metal bands. Do you think that this could probably happen to one of them, that they're going to run into a giant spider?
Well, this is
Yeah.
actually-
Man, I wish they'd have met Deicide on this planet. That would have been better.
It would be so much better.
man, just be great to see concerts.
Yeah.
On Mars, a big planet.
Yeah.
So what happens next here? Okay, so she's gonna walk. He's like, "Oh my God, you're beautiful." That's what Doc Magnus is saying, and of course, Tina or Platinum is just like, "No, she's like a spider." Oh my God, crying, whatever.
This is pretty horrible, though. To her credit, this is kind of awful to watch a person that your creator, something that you
Just watch anybody gonna get eaten by a giant robot spider.
or marry a giant robot spider that thinks it's a woman.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. What if you're just okay with it? What if you're just like,
Like, what if all of a sudden I just went and was like, hey, look at that lamppost. I think it's a bear, and I love it. You know,
I mean,
I'm gonna marry it.
if that is your new identity, then I accept you.
Wow.
But I don't know if I have room in my life for a lamppost bear.
We don't have a big enough apartment.
No, we don't.
Oh my gosh.
So he wanders off, and this is when she threatens to eat him, and then she's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to be back and eating all of you."
Yeah.
Just FYI.
And Doc is like, he looks stoned out of his mind.
Yeah.
Like he's hypnotized, but there's like spots sparkling near his head, and it's like, is he wasted? Because that's what that looks like.
Yeah, it does, and they're all different colors too. It kind of looks like they're trying to draw that he's on like an acid trip or something.
Yeah.
he drank that stuff that Platinum gave him, voodoo juice.
Maybe he wouldn't have been hypnotized if she didn't give him that weird love potion. Maybe her love potion is just kicking in now. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is her fault.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So then that's the end of that part, and now we're going to be in part 4. And
there's 4 parts of this stupid book.
There are so many parts to this.
Why is this so long? Is this like the Transformers of Metal Men books?
Man, let me tell you, the first read-through of this story for me, what a slog. It was easier on the second go-round, let me tell you. But boy.
Is Mark Wahlberg in this?
Yes.
Hey, guys.
I think it's guys. He's about to show up. Because I'll tell you where.
Mark Wahlberg is going to play Gold in the movie. Mark my words.
Actually, he would be a good Gold. I can see that.
Really?
Right?
That's a good casting. Hey, guys, I'm the richest metal, guys.
So they're all trying to get out of this web, and they can't.
I can turn into a golden Paul Yastrzemski statue.
So they're trying to get out. Mercury and Platinum are going at it. She's calling him a babbling thermometer.
Yeah.
A fugitive from the medicine cabinet.
What does that mean?
Well, thermometers, mercury.
Mercury and thermometers in medicine cabinets.
I was thinking, like, taking mercury pills. Like, that, I don't, wait.
Mercury pills? What the hell?
That's what I was like, I think of pills.
Well, I mean,
No, but you put the thermometer in the medicine cabinet, Shawn.
Yeah, because I don't know if do they still have mercury? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, back then.
But back then, yeah.
For
real.
If
you broke one, oh my god, like people would freak the fuck out.
Oh man.
It's mercury. You can't get it on you. So as they're all standing there, all of a sudden these 3 other spiders come up and they're like, "Hey, babe." This is what I mean. Mark Wahlberg shows up in this book.
Yeah, they're catcalling Tina and Nameless.
And they're like,
spiders.
Yeah.
They're frat boy spiders.
Yes, they're absolutely, because they're like, "Hey, there's girls over there. What up, baby?" And that's how they talk too. Like, they're not talking like robots. They're not talking. It's just they're just like, "Hey."
Can I point out real quick that these spiders talk like they hit on the metal men.
Well, they're hitting on Tina and Nameless.
Okay, so they hit on
They're straight spiders. Don't forget this.
Oh, okay. I thought there was maybe another lady in the bunch. But that's right. The big girls with Doc Agnes. Yeah. So they kind of hit on the lady metal men, like I wouldn't hit on a woman if I was 14 years old and in the mall, and I would be like, "Hey, coming up to school, I'm gonna go talk to them," and be like, "Hey, baby, you want an orange Julius?" And then, yeah.
Yeah, because they're literally like, "Hey, she's cute. What's your name?" And they're like, "Oh, what's your mind? Hey, you only get to live once." It's ridiculous. They're really hitting on these 2 robots, and I'm like, "Why? You're spiders."
Right. None of this crap makes any sense.
Yeah, but they also have engorged genitals that we can't see.
Oh my gosh.
Engorged metal genitals.
Gross.
Talk about a hard-on.
And they're like, "Hey, how about ditching those squares and going out on the town with us?" And I'm like, "This is a desolate planet full of nothing. What town are you talking about?"
Right? Robot Spider Town.
Yeah, they'll go on that abandoned ship, or they can take them to the Empire State Building. That's still there.
That's true.
There's plenty to do. There's like so many floors in that building.
They're just gonna go live out the end of what is it? You've Got Mail.
Oh man.
So they try to, Nameless and Tina try to leave the web, but they can't. They get sucked back into it. And the spiders are like, "Oh man, we'll help you. We can, we'll melt this web for you so you can come hang out with us. And they...
Well, I don't understand that these spiders are also very dumb because they're like, what's the deal with this? They just see these ladies on the web and they're like, hey, let's go why don't you hang out with us? And then how come you can't come out? It's like, clearly your lady boss adhered us to this thing.
Yeah, you can't tell me that spiders don't know how spider webs work, but apparently these three don't.
Yeah, they're dumb.
They're really dumb.
Yeah,
and
but
so
they...
like... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, they free the metal men, and the metal men kill the crap out of them.
Oh yeah. They fucked them up.
Oh, yeah. They cut them in half and smash them in vices.
This is what I mean. There's killing in this book. Because the spiders free them with, like, gross acid stuff, we're going to guess.
Yeah.
Venom. And they're like, all right, time to go.
Time to kill.
Well, they released the venom because they're like, hey, we're going to go fuck. And then they're like...
Well, that's the thing, because then they're like, oh, man, those girls tricked us into freeing their friends. And I'm like, they're in the same web, dude. Like, you can't be that dumb, but apparently they are. And then they just murder these spiders.
Yeah. Here's the thing. No one's going to say boo about it because killing spiders, who cares? Killing robots, who cares?
Exactly.
Now, if they were on Earth and they just slaughtered supervillains or something, the Justice League would have them, like, have a talking with them,
Yeah.
But
as long as they're killing robots, Superman is giving everybody the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because as we know, Superman hates robots and he kills them constantly.
Even though he has his own robots, he's a robot racist, isn't he?
He
is. Yeah, he is.
He hates robots.
Yeah.
He has slapped Red Tornado's head off his shoulders so many friggin' times.
Well, Red Tornado sucks.
No.
Oh, shit, it's on now.
If you're on my show. No, I tried to like Reddy. He's just lame.
But I empathize with him, and just like kind of sometimes when you're feeling kind of like an outsider and stuff like that, I'm like, oh man, I feel you about it.
Yeah, I like that he has a girlfriend. His girlfriend's nice.
Yeah, that what's her name?
Yeah, I totally don't remember her name.
Because Red Tornado was a temp. That's right. He met the woman at the temp agency, and then he adopted a random girl.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah, I guess.
As you do, you meet an android.
So they form a giant wheel.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we gotta go get Doc before he gets fucked by the spider.
Yeah. And so as the wheel, they crush a bunch more spiders.
Yeah,
It's just
run them all over.
It's just spider genocide.
It is.
Robocide.
And so we get to where, I mean, she just kind of just like walked him off panel.
Right.
And she's about to eat him.
Did she carry him like a baby? Because it's kind of like she's holding him like his head, like just kind of like...
Well, you remember he's stoned. She's taking care of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is not under. This is
being a good friend.
This is not consensual. I don't like it.
No, it's a bad thing. But so she's trying to. Right now, nothing is happening. She's just trying to take care of her high friend. As you do.
Oh, okay. It's just one of those things when like you're out and you have the father or the mother.
Or no. It's just one of those things where you're like out with your friend and they drink way too much and you're like, oh man, I got to take you home. I got to put you in bed. We got to get you a glass of water beside the bedside table. Take your shoes off, that sort of thing.
Get you some B12 and some mango slice.
You're just gonna lay down, okay? Just call me if you need me. It's that.
Yeah, and then she's gonna eat him.
And then she goes. You think she's being nice? No, she's just hungry.
Well, Jack in the Box was closed.
What are you gonna do? So they run her over. And then they grab him, and he's kind of like hanging outside of the wheel.
Yeah, he should have all the concussions.
Yeah.
His arm should have been pulled right out of its socket.
Yeah.
So then they race along.
It should have been like freaking Michael Ironside at the end of a fucking Total Recall, and should like just Arnold Schwarzenegger be like, "Welcome to see you at the party, Richter."
So here's the thing. Okay. I guess they killed her, and then they, oh no, maybe they didn't. But they get all the people that were trapped on the planet in the jetaway and they fly back to Earth. But what about, like, the jets? What about the building?
Right?
Oh, that's the same. That's what they lived on.
Oh, okay.
The Empire State Building's just on whatever planet this is.
Okay.
Or we'll just build a new one. That
Right.
might be easier.
Superman will bring it back.
Sure. Off panel.
Off panel, he's like, here you go.
So they come back and they're like, oh man, but Doc, still stoned.
Really stoned.
Still
Yeah.
really stoned. And he's like, oh man, still hypnotized. And he's just like looking at Tina, telling her that the only robot I'll ever marry is you. And then now it gets weird and non-consensual because now she's just kissing on him and she's like, don't you love my clammy, cold lips?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, well, he goes, yeah, she's like, you enjoy my clammy cold lips, don't you? And he's like, brr, I mean, delicious. I'm like,
That's how this book ends.
Yeah.
That's how this book ends.
Yeah,
Barry
it's
Merrick read that and said yes.
yeah, this is really messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no, he doesn't look like he looks terrified. Like he's like obviously he knows what's going on and he doesn't like it, but there's nothing he can do about it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a weird book.
Oh my. Yeah.
It's weird. It's just weird. I like it. I love it. I love every bit of it.
It's crazy fun. Loads of fun. But there's some really wrong stuff in here and some stuff that makes no goddamn sense at all.
No.
So Rog is right.
Why does she want to marry him?
Right?
Why? I don't get it. It's like the spider. I don't get it.
Ah, comics. They're crazy.
They are crazy.
Oh my gosh. So any final thoughts on this issue?
I think it's just wild, and I actually have to go back and because I have a whole bunch of these from my dad, and I have to go back and read a bunch of these because these are awesome.
Yeah, they are loads of
I have
fun.
to go back and revisit them.
We haven't covered this series on my show in years, but I really have some fondness for these characters. They're fun.
Well, we did the last time we did Metal Men was I think we only did it once before, and it was with an Eclipso issue because
That makes sense.
Oh, with Eclipso
Yeah,
in the Metal Men?
no, he was they were fighting him. They were like just some dumb bullshit where like Bruce Gordon saw half a moon. Oh God, he's Eclipso now. Whatever.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I've listened to all your episodes. I don't remember that one. I love Eclipso like a lot.
Yeah, it's one of the later runs. It's like right before the series ended.
Oh, okay.
It was like 78 or something like that, which is it's actually pretty amazing that it went on as long as it did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably one of the ones that Walt Simonson drew.
It did, yeah. Well, did that
Oh,
one,
that's
yeah.
awesome. Okay, I think I remember this episode now. But now this is getting too inside baseball. But anyway, Jen, Shawn, I want to thank you so much for coming on this episode. I'd love to do this again sometime. Where can folks find you on the internet?
I am at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and jenstansfield.wordpress.com.
And you can find myself on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Shawn. That's SHAWN, that's how you spell Shawn. And you can also check out my other podcast that I do with my friend Joe called I Can Talk Kayfabe, where I talk about wrestling magazines from the 80s and from whatever. And we talk about our comic books. So it's a lot of fun. You can find that on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
And Nick, thank you so much for inviting us on. This was so much fun, and thank you for your encyclopedic comic book knowledge, which is fantastic.
Oh,
thank you so much.
You're very kind. Thank you so much for coming on. This is a great thrill for me.
Likewise.
Yes. Folks, Comic Reflections is based in Portland, Oregon, and produced by Sean Roof. Until next time, we'll see you in the funny pages.
$229 different characters spanning the galaxies of the Legion of Superheroes, presented across 7 comic book issues. A new miniseries as part of the Who's Who podcast. To handle this many characters, the irredeemable Shag is bringing in a ringer, or maybe we should call them flight ringers.
Who's who in the Legion of
Who's who in the Legion of
Who's who in the Legion of Superheroes?
The Legion of Superheroes.
Who's who in the Legion of Superheroes?
The Legion of Superbloggers team up to present Who's Who in the Legion of Superheroes, a 3-episode miniseries in 2017, part of the Who's Who podcast on the Fire and Water Podcast Network. Long live the Legion.
Trekker Talk, a fan podcast devoted to the adventures of 23rd century bounty hunter Mercy St. Clair from the pages of Trekker Comics by creator, writer, and artist Ron Randall. I'm Darren.
And I'm Ruth. We'll be discussing the stories, characters, and art in this excellent retro sci-fi adventure series, as well as having side conversations about other areas of fandom.
We hope you'll join us as we travel from the dangerous back streets of New Galuf to the depths of outer space and everywhere in between.
Trekker Talk is available at podbean.com and on iTunes and Stitcher.
Find us at trekkertalk.com.